Okay, in this short video, we are going to discuss your favorite topic, getting paid, or the payment tab in the store settings. So, of course, to get there, we're going to click the settings link in the upper right corner. We're going to then click the payment tab. Then we are going to review all the various settings and features and functions we have on this page. Okay, first and foremost, the most important thing we need to discuss is how credit card processing actually works. So when a consumer gets to your checkout page, they will be presented with your obvious payment choices. The payment choices are all configured from this page. If we quickly scroll down, you can see we support PayPal, we support Google Checkout, and we support a number of what we call payment gateways. Okay, the first one and most popular one we use is Authorize.net, and I would say the second most popular one is PayPal Web Payments Pro Signature Gateway. To get a PayPal Web Payments Pro account, you basically need to convert your PayPal checkout account to what they call PayPal Pro. I think it costs about 20 or 30 bucks a month, and the rates are actually the best in the business. I believe it's around 2.9%. All right. Now, as far as the way credit card processing works, if you choose to work with a payment gateway, you will choose the payment gateway from this list, okay, and you will then choose which credit card you accept. Now, most credit card gateways accept all the major forms of credit cards, but not all of them. In other words, American Express and Discover are actually options, and you should double check with your payment gateway to make sure that you can actually accept Amex and Discover. Now, a word about how the credit card processing works on our system. We have a way to allow the consumer to check out and not have you do anything to the credit card. In other words, they can check out without paying as long as their credit card is a valid credit card number. You can see here this option, authorize and capture a checkout, has an on and an off. Okay, it defaults actually to off. We call that semi-automatic processing. When the system is set to off for authorize and capture, it's going to require you to click a link at the order level called Charge Now or labeled Charge Now. And when you click it, it'll actually authorize and capture the payment. Now, if you want to charge every customer at checkout, no matter what, then we want to set the setting here to on. Now, you see beneath here, we have an option, authorize only at checkout. A small number of our clients want to authorize the card, which is actually putting a hold on the money. And then it requires a second click, which will then actually move the funds from their bank to yours. We think it's probably just as easy to leave it on off and not use this feature, but we do have the feature if you want to do the authorize only. You can see here enable test mode. You can turn this on, and basically any credit card number you put in the system will be accepted at checkout, and it's used to test the payment gateway. Now, we're going to turn that off. Now, the API username and password, these values, as well as the PayPal API signature, come from inside either the PayPal Web Payment Pro area, or it comes from inside the payment gateway's user settings. For Authorize.net, they call it the API username and password, and you have to actually generate these values. You do it in the Authorize.net site, and then you copy and paste them here, and then you hit your save button when you're all ready. Let's see. Let's keep going. Obviously here, which cards do you accept? You can turn on and off the credit cards you want to accept. Usually they're all turned on. We highly recommend accepting them all. CVV2 and CVVC are the credit card security codes on the back of the credit card. You do not have to ask the customer for them, but we highly recommend it to avoid fraud. Obviously, this is how you turn them on and off. Notify me on declined cards. What that means is every single time a customer tries to check out, if their credit card is declined, of course you'd have to have it set to authorize and capture a checkout. You would get an email every single time. This is a good way to quickly call the customer and say, hey, Mr. Smith, or hey, Mrs. Jones, I see you're trying to check out of our store and you're getting a decline. Maybe you're typing in the credit card number wrong. I can help you finish your order. Okay, that's an optional feature there. Here are the PayPal settings. Now, these are for the two different checkout systems that they have. They have something called standard checkout, and standard checkout is what's used. Standard checkout is what's used, I would say, by most of the e-commerce sites on the internet, and it's going to require your user to log into PayPal with their PayPal user ID and password, usually an email address and password, and then they complete their checkout there. Okay, we also have the enhanced PayPal checkout system called Express Checkout, and you can enable that here provided you enter in these values. And the values you see here, the PayPal user ID, you get these from inside of your PayPal account, okay? And they're different for every seller. Finally, Google Checkout, used by a few of our merchants, is similar to the PayPal checkout. You're going to get your merchant ID and your merchant key from Google Checkout, also referred to as Google Wallet. And if you enable it, it will, of course, send customers to Google for their checkout experience. Now, I guess lastly, we have these additional payment options: pay in store, pay with money order. If we roll over these question marks, it'll tell us what they do. But basically, if you put in true here, it'll enable these features and functions if they're necessary. If you have any more questions about how to manage payments, please don't hesitate to click the support link at the top of the page and generate a support ticket. Thank you so much.